So a quick explanation, what it's going to be based around. It's going to be based around Foetracer, a disruption break weapon, and withering heat, and obviously the solar subclass. So basically what Foetracer is doing, it's a bit underrated. I've covered it a couple of times on some videos, but this season it's going to be really strong with the withering heat mod. That debuffs sort of champions when you apply solar ability to them, whether it's your grenade or your melee. So Foetracer is my baby. It's like I've always sort of banged on about this to my friends and my clanmates. Visually marks targets, deals more damage to low health marked targets, provides a small benefit to airborne effectiveness. It's predominantly for PvE. I use this, I don't really use this in PvP, but as the health of the enemy gets to like a third, everything that you hit that enemy with, the health just gets lower and lower. I've got some clips and it's absolutely ideal with things like Witherhoard, bait and switch Lydias, anything predominantly that you can do damage over time with. It isn't even too bad with Osteo neither, because once you get them to that third of the health with a Foetracer, the numbers are just going to keep going up and up and up. Then what we could do this season in particular is, because it's anti-barrier pulse rifles, if you've got one lying about with disruption break, you're going to be able to cause some serious damage with this weapon on your Witherhoard, because disruption break is a really solid perk. It gives you a 50% buff to you and your team for about 4 or 5 seconds. So anything that you break the shield with disruption break, all your kinetic weapons are going to do a 50% extra damage increase for you and your team, really making Witherhoard really strong with withering heat. And then what's going to happen in the clips, as they get low health, you're going to see the numbers are just going to keep going up and up and up. I've got some clips for you, see if you can see what we're talking about. So I've just popped in here. I haven't got any unstoppable weapons on me at all, and I've just come in here just to show you exactly what the Witherhoard and the Foetracer is doing. So I'm going to get this champ down to a third of its health, and then I'm just going to show you the Witherhoard numbers going up and up and up. So this is the Foetracer perk kicking in now. You can see their numbers. It started off at 1637 and it's just going up and up and up, and it'll just keep going up all the time until that enemy dies. And at that sort of point, I'm just using the Witherhoard. It works with everything. And then what I'm going to do now is show you disruption break. This works against anti-barriers this season. So anti-barrier pulse rifle, once I break that, you're going to see an increase. I'll show you now. So 5,334, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to break him with my pulse rifle with disruption break, and then you're going to see a number increase of 8,001. And now the Foetracer is kicking in, and them yellow numbers, that is the Foetracer perk sort of kicking in. I've slowed it down just to show you again. So just to clarify, disruption break pulse rifles this season, because it's anti-barrier pulse rifle, it does actually work against anti-barriers. Like I said, I've covered it a couple of times, so I'm not going to bang on about it too much, but it really improves your kinetic weapons, and it's ideal for something like Witherhoard. Now the Foetracer is going to start kicking in. There you go, that's the Foetracer perk. So I've got some more clips of sort of it all working together in various different activities. This is just a 1560 at the moment. I just come in here just to sort of showcase it, just to sort of show you what's happening. And I've got some clips of 1590 stuff as well, including the dungeon, and also just some general play of it all working together. So this is it, everything that we've said. I've applied my Foetracer perk, that's kicking in, my Witherhoard's there, and it's just ticking away, and the numbers just keep going up and up and up until the enemy is dead. This is a 1590 nightfall I was doing with some of my friends last night and clanmates, and you can see here again, this is the Foetracer and the Witherhoard just working together really nicely. I've also applied withering heat, so we're going to get a lot of debuffs going on there, really getting the most out of Witherhoard, and champs are just dying so fast with it. It's It's pretty tasty. I definitely recommend giving it a go. It's not just good against champs, it's also good against sort of anything. As you can see there, yellow numbers galore. You're just ticking away with a Foetracer. And I'm just going to leave some more sort of clips playing out for you, and I'll show you the full build at the end, because I don't want to keep banging on. I'll just leave some of the clips playing out, and hopefully you can see everything that we talked about. So now this is the full breakdown of everything in the build. I am running my Solar subclass Hunter. I run knock 'em down and on your mark. I prefer to run a solar grenade because that works really well with a Foetracer, but you can run anything you like. I like knife trick just for how quick you get it back, and you can sort of damage multiple targets at a time with your Scorch. Gambler's Dodge, I always run that on my Hunter. It's a free knife. Free melee ability. I'm also running Ember of Singeing. Your class ability recharges when you scorch targets. Ember of Torches. Powered melee attacks against combatants make us radiant. Ember of Solace. That makes the radiant and restoration effects twice as long. Ember of Ashes. You apply more scorch to targets. And I'm also running Ember of Char. Your solar ignitions spread scorch to affected targets. I run that one just because it gives me 10 extra discipline, and then sometimes you do get an ignition which will spread the scorch, which is going to help you get your class ability back with Ember of Singeing. Now the mods, they're quite important I think, because how I've sort of maximised it to the absolute best I can is stacking as much damage as possible. So this is how I've done it. I'm running Explosive Wellmaker, Withering Heat. We've already talked about Withering Heat, so Explosive Wellmaker, I just want to sort of mention that one that works with Witherhoard. I'm not sure why, again it's something I've covered a couple of times on this channel, but it does work with Witherhoard. Get a couple of kills with Witherhoard and it will spawn explosive solar well. So Explosive Wellmaker and Elemental Ordnance. Getting a kill with a grenade is going to spawn an elemental well. Them two together is going to give us plenty of elemental wells. And then another one that I run is Elemental Charge. So whenever I pick them wells up, it's going to make us charge with light. And I'm running High Energy Fire. So because we're going to be charged with light all the time, it's going to give us a 20% damage increase. And I'm also running a Font of Might, which is a 25% damage buff as well. They're both stacked together, so we're going to have Font of Might going all the time. We're going to have High Energy Fire going every time we'll pick up an elemental well, all these stacked together. And we're going to have the Radiant as well, the Radiant buff, which is another 25%. So they all stack together, so you can really cause some humongous damage. Sticking on Withering Heat on there. We've got the Foetracer perk, that's going to really do us a solid. Once they get to a third, as you've seen in the clips, it's going to the health of the enemies is just going to go down and down. You're going to see yellow numbers everywhere. And Witherhoard, sort of, I think it's the best sort of shot, best weapon we can use in the primary slot, because it does a lot of damage over time. Your secondary, you can run Disruption Break Pulse if you've got it for champs, but you can literally run anything. And then the heavy I sort of recommend is if you can get a Cataclysmic with Bait and Switch, because Bait and Switch is basically a free sort of pack as long as you're running Witherhoard. It's really easy to proc. But if you don't have it, you've got things like Storm Chaser, any sort of linear if you like. It'll work perfectly together. Different options, don't have to be exactly, you can sort of mix and match it, but I would definitely run Witherhoard. Anyway, I hope the build's been good. Have a good day.